Now it's time to talk about the video game stocks. We're focusing on Electronic Arts, came out with its numbers. We want to get all the details on the group. Andrew Uerkwitz with us, equity analyst at Jefferies. Thanks for being here. So tell us about the report. What stood out to you when you looked at what went on with Electronic Arts, and how can we interpret it for the entire sector?
Yeah, there was a couple of really, I would say the most interesting piece about it was you had a pretty significant guide down and miss. And yet in the commentary, they talked about, some of their biggest games doing really well. So things like FIFA, record year, The Sims, record engagement. And so what you get this quite, some things are doing really, really well. Some things are doing poor enough you have to guide everything down. Looking at Ubisoft, they had the same issue. A lot of their smaller games underperforming. And so the big question, I think, for the industry is what is happening? Why are the biggest games continuing to take share and doing really well and everything else doing very poorly? Is it macro? Are people, being more discerning with their spend? Are they being more discerning with their time? It's a big open question as we head into 2023.
And where's the delay? You did talk about an intellectual IP delay. What was that?
And so there was another delay. It feels like about half the guide down was the shift of Star Wars by 6 weeks. So it's not that big of a deal. I think there's been over 100 delays that we've tracked over the last 18, 24 months. So it's not, so that to me was not the most concerning thing in this print. It's really kind of the underwhelming spend outside of the largest games.
And what about mobile strategy and the shift there? I mean, what's going on? Are people using mobile less, more? Are they doing these on PCs or the actual game consoles?
Yeah, so on mobile, we had, again, it's just been like 2022 was down for mobile across the board for everybody. The overall industry was down probably mid to high single digits. There's been some changes in the way you advertise, the way you gather players and capture new players. EA was, again, just like everybody else, really struggling to kind of capture those new players with some of these new rules from Apple and Google. And what EA has decided to do is cancel some of their bigger mobile titles and further integrate them with the console and PC games, hoping that that makes it more attractive for players to come in and easier to find those players to play the mobile games.
Understood. And at this point now, you have a buy rating, right, on EA?
Yeah. We don't, as sell side fundamental analysts, we don't try to call quarters. We look at the kind of the longer term trend. EA has significant pipeline here. If this trend towards bigger games is going to become more of a reality, then you want to own the biggest gaming companies. And EA's pipeline has some of the biggest games in it over the next 3 to 5 years. Unfortunately, we're just not going to get any of them in the next 6 to 9 months. A lot of faster money guys are play the video game space in and around what's coming next. But fundamentally, longer term, we see real growth here as they start to build games around Star Wars, Iron Man, other sports, college football's coming back. So there is a strong pipeline here that should get these guys back to growth relatively soon.
And how do you feel about names like Take-Two? I mean, Activision's going to Microsoft still. I mean, that seems to be the plan still. So you have Activision, Microsoft, Take-Two, and whatever else I may be leaving out. I mean, are there other things that we should be watching and others that may be buys? Yeah,
sure. I mean, as we look across the industry, we do think the industry will grow this year. We do think the biggest games will drive that growth. Take-Two's got some of the biggest games. We're expecting a GTA 6 in the next 24 months. And that's one of the biggest games of all time. And so again, we favor names that have great pipelines, but also some of the biggest AAA titles in them that will come to market over the next 24 months. We think that's Take-Two. We think that's EA. And so we favor those names.
Great to see you, Andrew. Thank you for all the details, and I love all the mentions of the games. They're so much fun for the gamers. I'm not a gamer, but I watch everybody else playing them, and I know they love. Are you a gamer?
Of course. Yeah. You gotta.
Of course. I mean, it's work, right, Andrew? That's what I think.
That's right.
Andrew Uerkwitz.
Totally.
Nice to see you, equity analyst at Jefferies. Thanks.